The roar of the crowd is deafening, a storm of voices crashing against the walls of the packed arena. Flashing lights slice through the darkness, illuminating two figures standing on opposite ends of the ring, two men who have dominated their respective worlds, now face to face in a battle no one thought possible. On one side, the undefeated force of nature, a man who crushed every opponent who dared to step inside the cage with him. On the other, a powerhouse whose name is synonymous with dominance, a warrior whose presence alone can send shockwaves through an entire stadium. The octagon has been his home, the squared circle his empire, but tonight, there is no separation, only war. The air is thick with anticipation, every second dragging like an eternity as fans hold their breath. This isn't just a fight, it's a collision of legacies, a battle of two unstoppable forces who have never known true defeat. One has conquered the most dangerous fighters in the world with a relentless will that breaks men before they even hit the ground. The other has crushed giants, standing at the helm of an empire built on power, skill, and an iron will that refuses to be challenged. But what happens when an immovable object meets an unstoppable force? What happens when two titans step into the same battlefield, with only one walking out victorious? For years, one name has echoed through the combat sports world with an aura of invincibility. A warrior whose discipline, grappling mastery, and sheer dominance turned him into one of the greatest to ever step into the cage. He never ran, never backed down, and never lost. His fights weren't just victories. They were statements, declarations of a supremacy that left no room for doubt. But on the other side stands a different kind of champion, a man who rules not just with his strength, but with a presence that commands respect. He's faced legends, conquered giants, and built his legacy brick by brick, standing tall as an undisputed king in his own right. This is more than just a spectacle. It's a question that has lingered in the minds of fans for years. What happens when the greatest grappler in combat sports history steps into the ring with one of the most dominant forces in professional wrestling? It's a clash of styles, a meeting of two warriors whose names alone send chills down the spines of their opponents. The world has witnessed their individual conquests, seen them dismantle legends, and watched them walk away unchallenged. But tonight, there is no escape, no easy way out. The moment they step inside, every accolade, every championship, every moment of past glory fades into the background. Because in this ring, only one name will remain standing. The tension is suffocating, a slow building storm ready to explode. The fans know what's at stake, and so do the fighters. One thrives on pure discipline, a relentless force whose foundation is built on years of training, sacrifice, and an unshakable belief in his own ability. The other is a juggernaut, a leader of men, a warrior who commands the ring with a presence that can't be ignored. This isn't just about skill or strength. It's about legacy. It's about proving once and for all who truly stands at the top when all the barriers are removed. As the referee steps forward, the energy in the arena reaches a fever pitch. The moment has arrived, the moment when two titans will finally collide. Eyes lock, fists tighten, and the world holds its breath. Because in the next few seconds, history will be made. The question is, who will be left standing when the dust settles? The arena is a battlefield of noise, a deafening storm of chants, cheers, and raw anticipation. Every pair of eyes is locked onto the two men standing in the center, their breathing steady, their expressions carved from stone. The contrast between them is striking. One is a machine of discipline, forged in the fires of relentless training and unshakable faith. The other is a conqueror, A man who has walked through wars and emerged unscathed, ruling over an empire built on dominance and destruction. They are both undefeated in their own right, both unchallenged in their own domain. But now, for the first time, they stand in unfamiliar territory, a space where only one of them can claim true supremacy. Beyond the bright lights and roaring fans, their stories run deep, built over years of battle, struggle, and victory. One of them was born into a world where failure was never an option. From the moment he could walk, he was taught to fight, to endure, to dominate. His childhood was not one of comfort, but of disciplined, grueling training sessions in the mountains, the relentless push of a father who demanded nothing less than perfection. He grew up wrestling bears, grappling with champions, and absorbing a philosophy that left no room for doubt. When he stepped into the cage, it wasn't just about winning, it was about enforcing his will, about proving that no man, no matter how skilled, could break him. And time after time, he proved it. The other has walked a different path, one built on bloodlines, power, and a name that carried weight long before he ever threw a punch. He was born into legacy, but he carved his own throne through sheer force. Strength was never enough. It was presence, dominance, and the ability to control the battlefield that set him apart. He didn't just fight opponents. He dismantled them, forcing them to acknowledge him as their superior. Every victory wasn't just a win, it was a reminder that he was untouchable. He has crushed giants, silenced doubters, and stood as an unchallenged force in a world where few can survive. Yet, for all their differences, there is an undeniable similarity between them, a hunger, a fire that refuses to be extinguished. They do not fear pain. They do not fear the crowd. They do not fear losing because losing is not something they have ever truly experienced. But now, as they stand face to face, an unspoken truth lingers between them. One of them will have to fall. One of them will have to experience something they have never felt before. And neither of them is willing to be that man. Outside the ring, the world watches in stunned anticipation. Analysts argue over the outcome, fans take sides, and legends of both combat sports and professional wrestling weigh in. Some believe technique will win the day, that the skill set of the undefeated grappler will be too much to handle. Others argue that brute force, experience in the biggest moments, and sheer physical dominance will determine the outcome. But no one knows for sure, because this is uncharted territory, a battle that has never been fought before. As the seconds stretch into eternity, a deeper story begins to unfold. This is not just about skill, nor is it just about strength. It is about the unshakable will of two men who have spent their entire lives proving that they are the best. It is about honor, legacy, and the unwavering belief that they were never meant to lose. But in the end, one of them must face a reality they have never known. The only question is, who will it be? A single step forward sends a ripple through the arena, a shift in energy, so intense it feels almost tangible. The air is thick with anticipation, the weight of the moment pressing down on everyone watching. But inside the ring, neither man flinches. Their eyes remain locked, their bodies coiled like two forces of nature on the verge of collision. The anticipation has stretched long enough the time for waiting is over. But just as the referee prepares to signal the start, something unexpected happens. The massive screen above the ring flickers to life, cutting through the tension with a sudden jolt. A deep, commanding voice echoes through the arena, freezing both men in place. The image on the screen is blurred at first, distorted by static, but within seconds, the figure becomes clear, a man neither of them expected, a presence so shocking that even the roar of the crowd turns into a stunned hush. This was supposed to be a one-on-one battle, an undisputed showdown between two of the most dominant forces in combat history. Yet now, an unseen hand has entered the game, threatening to shift the entire landscape before the first strike is even thrown. The man on the screen speaks with an air of authority, his tone laced with both warning and amusement. He acknowledges the two warriors standing in the ring, but there is something unsettling about his words. He doesn't praise them, he challenges them. He questions their dominance, their legacies, their right to call themselves the best. It's not a declaration of respect, it's a provocation, a taunt designed to unsettle even the most unshakable minds. The two fighters remain motionless, but their expressions shift ever so slightly. For the first time tonight, a sliver of doubt flickers in the air. Not because they fear what's coming, but because they don't yet understand it. The man on the screen speaks again, but this time, his words send a shockwave through the arena. The match that was about to begin is no longer what it seemed. The stakes have changed. The battlefield has shifted, and the war they were prepared for is no longer the only one they have to fight. Just as suddenly as it appeared, the screen goes dark, leaving behind an eerie silence. Then, a sound, one that doesn't come from the speakers or the crowd. A heavy, deliberate thud echoes through the arena, followed by another. Footsteps, but not from either of the men already in the ring. No, these belong to someone else. Someone neither of them expected. The crowd erupts into chaos, voices shouting in disbelief as the camera shifts toward the entrance ramp. A third figure is making his way down, moving with a quiet but undeniable authority. His face remains hidden under the shadows, but his mere presence sends waves of uncertainty through the air. This was never supposed to happen. This was supposed to be a fight between two. But now, the rules have been rewritten, and neither of them had a say in it. For the first time tonight, the two men standing in the ring shift their focus not toward each other, but toward the unknown force approaching them. They came here prepared for one battle, but now they find themselves standing on the edge of something even bigger, something far more unpredictable. The stakes have not just been raised, they've been shattered entirely. And the worst part? They still don't know who or what they're about to face. The steps grow louder, each one striking the ground like a drumbeat of impending chaos. The crowd is on edge, caught between excitement and disbelief, their voices blending into a restless murmur. Inside the ring, the two warriors who just moments ago were prepared to tear each other apart now stand side by side, their focus locked on the unknown force approaching them. The tension is suffocating. No one knows what happens next. And then, the shadowed figure finally steps into the light. The moment his face is revealed, the entire arena erupts into a frenzy. Gasps, cheers, and shouts of confusion mix into an overwhelming wave of sound. This isn't just another challenger. This is a legend in his own right, a force that has left destruction in his wake, someone whose mere presence changes the very fabric of the fight. He stops at the edge of the ring, his eyes scanning the two men standing inside. There's no hesitation, no second guessing, only pure, unwavering intent. He's not here to watch. He's here to make a statement. Then, without warning, he slides under the ropes and rises to his feet, standing just a few feet away from the two fighters. The energy in the ring is electric, a storm on the verge of breaking. No one moves at first, but the air is filled with an unspoken understanding. This isn't a negotiation. This isn't an interruption. This is war. The first strike comes faster than anyone can react. A blur of movement, A thunderous impact, and just like that, all control is lost. The fight that was supposed to be a one-on-one spectacle has transformed into something far more chaotic, far more unpredictable. Blows are exchanged, bodies collide, and the once clear battle lines dissolve into sheer survival. No alliances, no strategies, just raw instinct. The crowd is losing its mind, watching history unfold in real time. The pure wrestler, the undefeated fighter, and the unexpected force in the ring are now locked in an all-out war, each one refusing to yield. But as the chaos unfolds, something shifts. The tides of battle are changing, and it becomes clear that no man is leaving this ring the same as he entered. The final moments arrive in a blur of exhaustion and fury. Every ounce of strength, skill, and heart is poured into the last exchange, a moment where time itself seems to slow. And then impact. A final, decisive blow lands, shaking the very foundation of the ring. One figure remains standing. Two are left struggling to rise. The war is over. The arena is silent for a beat, absorbing what just happened. Then, as if the entire crowd suddenly remembers to breathe, the reaction explodes, a deafening mix of shock, admiration, and disbelief. No one could have predicted this outcome. No one expected the night to end this way. And yet, here it is. A new legacy has been written, one that will be talked about for years to come. As the victor takes a final, steady breath, he looks down at the fallen warriors before turning his gaze to the roaring crowd. He has proven himself. He has conquered the unconquerable. But as he steps away, there's one last moment of hesitation, a flicker of something unreadable in his eyes. Because in the world of warriors, in the world of legends, no victory is ever truly the end. It is only the beginning of the next great battle. And somewhere, in the shadows, another force is already watching, waiting for the right moment to strike.